girlfriend.
Is it? Is she a girlfriend?
Yes, Queen!
What is happening? This is the best thing ever.
Was currently in a couple in front of you, or your ex-girlfriend Molly.
Okay, I'm going to start with a disclaimer. I only started watching Love Island, I think. I started with UK, and I think I started in season 8. So most of these people, I might not know them. But I do know a couple. And it's like, people are giving Scott such a hard time for going from, Love Island to Love Island Games. And yet Toby, he was on his season of Love Island, has just been on Love Island Games, and now he's on Love Island All-Stars. Make it make sense. I know I didn't watch his season, but I know him from Love Island All-Stars. Liberty, I think she was on Love Island All-Stars as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's a different Liberty. But anyway, Mitch, am I surprised? No, not really. He wanted the fame that came with it, and if they gave him a second chance, hey, I doubt he would have said no. But anyway, I digress. Hi there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island All Stars Season 1, Episode 1. Okay, so they have the first two girls to arrive, and it's Hannah and Liberty. And for me, as a woman, I try not to sort of body shame people or say anything derogatory that might affect somebody else's, mental well-being. But I think Hannah, she's had a bit too much done. I think she needs to go back to whatever she looked like. I think at times, in our quest for perfection, we overdo stuff and then it actually looks bad instead of actually improving on what we had. And I don't know. That's just my comment on that. She says she's 33 and she's a mother of a 4-year-old. And it's like, why would you go on Love Island again at that age? Why? Why not look for other shows? If you're really that keen on finding love, why not go to Love is Blind? Seriously, that's for people who are a bit more mature. Love Island has a tendency to bring young boys. So what are the chances that you're going to get someone who's serious about actually dating a single mom? But hey, it is what it is. Liberty, apparently she was in season 7 and she broke up with her guy just before the finale. I don't know whether it's the same Liberty. I'm still a bit stuck on that. I don't know whether it's the Liberty from Love Island Games or whether it's a totally different Liberty. Please can someone in the comments let me know. So next to arrive, you have Jake. He was on series 7. Apparently, he was in a couple with Liberty, and then he's the guy she broke up with. Well, what do I think? Well, he says he's matured and all that, but I think he's still a kid. I think he still needs a couple more years. I think he's here for fun. That's just my opinion. Chris is from series 5. He is 33. Chris is very dorky. He reminds me of Will, and I don't know how well he's going to do with the girls. I don't know. He's just a bit too awkward. And the fact that he had to name drop that he was in the Barbie movie and he was with Margot Robbie, and it's like, yeah, 33, but you still need to mature quite a bit. And then they sit down for a chat because obviously as soon as Liberty saw Jake, she felt awkward because of their history. And I remember Hannah and Chris were sort of saying, do you want a moment to have a conversation? But Liberty was very dismissive. I think she knows where she went wrong. I think she might have led him astray and then at the last minute decided to dump him. And so for them to then sit down after the introductions and they're sort of discussing what's your type, and you can see from everything that Liberty is sort of highlighting Jake feels some type of way. I don't know whether some of them seem like a swipe, some of them seem like that's exactly who he is and he's questioning, so why didn't we work? Because for her to say I want someone who's mature, it's like, oh, that's not a good thing to say about someone you dated. Maybe you should have just said I'm open to anything and left it at that. Next up is Kaz and Mitch. I don't know Kaz, but I like her. I like her energy. She seems to be close friends with Liberty because they were on the same season. She says she's 29. She's done everything, DMs, every single thing, and nothing has worked. So she's going to try a different approach this time. Apparently, she was very focused on getting married to someone, and maybe that's why things didn't work out. So this time she's going to use a different approach. I wish her all the best. And Messy Mitch is back. Messy Mitch is back. I don't understand how he's back already, unless the producers liked the character of Messy Mitch, so they've decided to bring him in to cause havoc. And I feel sorry for all the girls. I feel sorry for the guys. Hopefully they're more patient like season 10 were with him. Otherwise, it is what it is with Mitch. It is what it is. He's like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. But hey, he's always going to stay true to himself. I'm surprised he didn't work out with Abby after they left the villa, since they seemed to have something there. But hey, on to the next one. Next up is Georgia S. She was in series 4. She's 25. What do I think? Well, she says she's now more mature. She's now knows what she wants. She's not going to say "I'm loyal, babe." That was a catchphrase in the previous season. There's nothing stand out about her for me. There's nothing really stand out. She's a good-looking girl, but that's it. And then we have Anton. Anton, he's from series 5. And so he is now 29. This is the problem with Love Island. They always bring older girls with young guys. And you've only got 2 guys that are sort of maybe at a better age, that you think they're maybe ready to settle down or are maybe ready for a serious commitment. The majority of them, I don't think so. Mitch is there for a good time. Apparently, Anton had so many recouplings. He said he changed his bed about 7 times. So he recoupled 7 times. It sounds like he's a mama's boy. So I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see when everybody else sort of couples up and how he moves with this game. Next up is Toby and Lois. I didn't watch Toby's season, but I watched Toby from Love Island Games and how he played with that girl until he recoupled up with Georgia S. I was wondering where I knew Georgia S from. Now it makes sense, because she coupled up with Toby and they actually were kicked off together, because as soon as Toby walks in, you can see how awkward she is, how she sort of draws back into her shell. She was very out there and bubbly when she walked in, but then now that Toby's come in, I don't know whether they've recently broken up or what's happened. And Toby, for him to pretend as though nothing happened and hey, I'm here, let's go, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So Toby is 24 and he was in series 7, and it's like, oh my god, he was a baby then when he came on. I know on Love Island Games, he did couple up with Justine's friend. I've forgotten her name. And then he recoupled with Georgia S. And there was a fallout, I think, because people didn't understand how he moved on so swiftly. And it's like, he's young. What do you expect? He's still playing the field. When he was asked by the guy, what's your type? You could see Georgia was uncomfortable. Georgia is in pain. Liberty is not bothered, that her ex is there, but Georgia is pained that Toby is there. And it's a pity that the producers decided to be messy and didn't let her know that Toby was going to be there again. But then again, the 2 of them this is their 3rd Love Island. Hey, I can't wait for Scott to come, and I don't want to hear any hoopla, because if people like Toby can go on 3 Love Island shows, then there's nothing to stop, Scott from coming. Louis was in season 1. He's 29. Apparently, he's now a dad. And it's like, at a certain age, when you become a single parent, I think shows like Love Island are not it. I think things like Married at First Sight or Love is Blind are it if you're looking for love. Love Island is people who are just there to enjoy themselves and walk around in swimsuits. That's my opinion. Lastly is Demi. She is 25. She was in series 6. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know really. And then there's also Georgia H. She was in series 3. There's nothing really standoutish about them, but we'll see as the show goes on. Although she did sort of try to have a conversation with Mitch, and it's like, people need to leave Mitch alone and Mitch will be fine. So Maya Jama arrives and she joins the islanders at the fire pit, and you can see some of the guys are excited. They are excited, but she's way out of their league. She's way too accomplished and way too stunning for most of them. They're way too immature. Anyway, she then says, the guys need to stand up and the girls need to pick who they would like to couple up with. So the girls are asked to stand. They more or less did the same thing that the Love Island USA last season did, in the sense that they got the girls to stand by the guy they liked as the guys came in. And then eventually, if a guy had more than one girl, he had the option to choose who he wanted to couple up with and who he wanted to let go. Well, it turns out it was just a trick. They just wanted to see who everybody's interested in. And for me, I don't get why, people went for Chris. There's nothing about Chris that sort of stands out. He's too cocky. He's too sort of full of himself. He's too full of himself, more or less. So you have Hannah go for him, and I think Hannah mainly was because he's more or less the same age as her. I don't get why Kaz stood beside him. I really don't, and I don't even get why Georgia stood beside him as well. Nothing about him stood out. Nothing about him made me think, oh, he's amazing, let me go and chat with him. Georgia S was sort of stuck in between Toby and Anton, and it's like, why not go for Toby then? Why not go for someone that you know? And then she decided to go for Anton because she said, they came in together. She doesn't know him, so she wants to get to know him. Liberty, I think, was strategic. Liberty chose Mitch. I think she thought with Mitch, they would have more capital in the sense that as long as Mitch wanted to stay in a couple with her, then she had the chances of staying in the villa longer than anybody else. Lois was chosen by Demi. Do I think that couple makes sense? I don't think so. Anyway, they were then told that they did not have, they were not going to be responsible for the coupling up. It would be the public. So I can't wait to see what happens. I don't know whether the producers were just being messy and wanted to see where everybody stands before they let them know who they're actually coupling up with. Maya leaves and says, I'll come back tonight and I'll say who is coupling up with who. So Georgia has a conversation with Anton because she's worried that now Toby's upset because she sort of staggered in between Anton and Toby. She said Toby was a safety blanket because she's known him longer, but now she's worried that, he might feel some type of way. And it's like, why? Why would you say that? This is your third time around on Love Island. By now you should have the confidence to maneuver relationships or conversations with people without you sort of stuttering and you seeming confused on day one. It's interesting hearing the conversations once Maya has left because you have Chris, Loe, Hannah and Georgia go for a tour of the villa and they're sort of having conversations and trying to suss each other out. I don't know what Georgia H sees in Chris. Chris, I think, is patronizing. He's annoying. I think you can only take so much of him before you get put off. They were sort of asking each other about types and I don't get it. I think she's only interested, I think Georgia's only interested in the look, in how he looks, his physical appearance, not him, the person, because oh my God, he would annoy me. He would annoy me. After a few minutes, I would need a break from him. You then have the girls having a conversation with Georgia S to sort of see where she stands, and you can tell that she still likes Toby. She's still interested in Toby, but I think she's worried that it's going to break her heart because the girls were asking, they did ask Toby, is the door open or closed between you and Georgia? And he said, it's open, but I'm also open to getting to know everybody else. Whereas when the girl spoke to Georgia, you could tell that she is smitten. She still likes Toby a lot, and I think it's going to be a problem for her if he starts playing his usual games. He had a conversation with her and told her, I'm not a player. I'm just open to getting to know people. And she's sort of asking him, do you like me? You need to tell me you like me so that I understand where we stand. Because at the moment I'm confused. I don't know where we stand. And it's like, don't beg him. Don't beg him. This is your third time on Love Island. You don't need to be begging anyone. So I don't get it. Liberty had a conversation with Mitch. Mitch is going to couple up with whoever keeps him in the villa. If Liberty wants to stay with Mitch, she's got a sure thing. She's going to be like Lucinda and Zach from Love Island, Australia. They'll get to the finale, but I don't think they'll win. It just depends on her game plan. It depends on her game plan, on whether she plans on staying on the show till the end or whether she's really looking for love. If she's really just wanting, the celebrity that comes with being on the show, then her best bet is to stay with Mitch. So once the Islanders have, unpacked and they've got ready for the night, the girls sort of sit around and start having conversations about who they like. I think some of the girls are being very superficial, and it's sad that this is their third time on Love Island, and they're still being very superficial in the sense that they're more concerned about somebody's physical appearance and not their actual character. I know someone like Mitch. Mitch played a character. I remember the girl saying in his season that he wanted to be known as one of the greatest to be on Love Island. So him playing the messy Mitch character made sense. Liberty still insists she wants Mitch. I hope it doesn't end out like it did with the Australian guy on Love Island Games, because she might be setting herself up for heartbreak. I think she should have been open. I think if nothing else, she should have tried things with Jake and then got to know, or she should have had a conversation with Jake first and then got to know everybody else. And that way, if nobody picks her, then at least she's got somebody to fall back on. I know Hannah was sort of trying to get Kaz to sort of look towards Lois. I think Lois comes across as very mature. He comes across as great. I don't know him from his season, so I think he would make a better match for Kaz than Chris. I think Chris would annoy her after a certain amount of time. I think he would be a pain because he's very arrogant and some of the conversation he has is very off-putting. Georgia S is worried about Toby. She says she likes Anton because he's older, but there's also something going on there with Toby. I think she's still got a crush on Toby, or she's still got feelings for Toby and she doesn't know how to process that because she's worried she might get heartbroken. But then in that case, she needs to move on. The guys are chatting and Chris is asking, are you going to kiss the girls tonight or will you wait? And it's like, please don't. Please don't. And people start speculating who's going to be coupled up with who. And Toby was like, oh, Liberty and Jake are going to be coupled up if the audience decide to be messy. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. I don't know. We'll see. Maya Jama then arrives to announce who the new couples are. So the recoupling starts, and some of it is not really that surprising, if I'm going to be honest, because some of these people you could tell who they were going to be coupled up with. Louis was coupled up with Georgia H, and that's a surprise. Well, she seems excited. I don't know why she doesn't really seem ecstatic about him. I think he's a great guy. I was taken aback by Kaz's body language when Lois was called out, because you could see she was trying to sort of give her back to him. I don't know whether it's because she doesn't like him or whether she thought he wasn't her type. Even when Toby was asked, who do you think the public is going to couple you up with? He said Georgia S or Kaz, and you could tell I can't read Kaz, and I hope she's coupled up with someone who is great for her. I hope they don't couple her up with Mitch. That would be just a recipe for disaster, and her chances of going home would be very high. I think she would have been better off with Lois. Chris is coupled up with Demi. Am I surprised? No, I don't get that couple. And then you have Toby is coupled up with Georgia S. Toby and Georgia S are so comfortable. Even Maya mentioned it. The way they was very cozy and cuddly. And when Georgia S was asked, you initially stepped up for Anton. What do you think? I don't know. She's so confused. I said it before, I'll say it again. Georgia S has feelings for Toby, and Toby is the one who's not being honest with her. If he were to come out and say, I really like you, I'm not going to explore anything with anybody else, she would shut it down today and she would say she's stuck with Toby and that's her person. I think his age and the fact that he's not making his intentions towards her known is why she's sort of in this I don't know space. So Hannah is coupled up with Anton. Am I surprised? Not really. Do I think they'll last? No, there's nothing about them that stands out. I think they would be a very boring couple. I think at some point, if they want to stay on the show, they're going to recouple with somebody else who will get them more clout. You then have Liberty and Kaz left with Jake and Mitch, and it's sort of who's going to be picked and who's going to be coupled up with whom. And it ends out that Liberty is coupled up with Jake. They both seem very awkward. It's totally different from, when Toby coupled up with Georgia. They are very awkward. They're very uncomfortable around each other. There's some sort of bad feelings there, even though they are saying that they really like, there's no bad blood. I think they do have bad blood. They might not be expressing it. Mitch said something that I didn't like when he was coupled up with Kaz. When Kaz went, oh, wow, this is a good couple. And he went, for now. And it's like, why would you say that to her? Why would you say that? Who do you think is going to want to couple up with you then? Or who do you think is going to be interested? I don't think Liberty likes him like that. I think she likes the security he'll bring for her in the villa. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. When, Liberty's asked, how do you feel about Mitch coupling up with somebody else? And she's sort of, oh, Kaz is a great person, so whoever's coupled up with her is lucky. So by that, Mitch can't say anything bad. When he's asked, how do you feel about coupling up with Kaz? He has to say positive things because Liberty has said positive things about Kaz. But in my opinion, what stuck is the fact that he said to Kaz, we're coupled up for now, meaning that he's not going to stay with her. So if I were Kaz, I would start grafting somebody else because Mitch is going to leave her in the dust. That's my opinion. And then surprise, Maya says there is a twist to it. So there's a new person already coming in at the first recoupling. They're not playing, aren't they? So, you know, Callum arrives just as Maya announced, and everybody's taken aback because everybody was already starting to feel out their new partner. And so the idea that somebody's going to walk in and split them up is just something else. And it's immediately announced that Callum was dating Molly and they've recently split up. He's 27. He was from Series 6. So Callum is told that he has the opportunity to pick one of the girls in the 6 couples to couple up with. And Toby immediately says to Georgia, oh, he's going to pick you. And Georgia, you can see, is not happy because she immediately leans into Toby to sort of say, I don't want to be stolen. And then he's told, but there's another option. And his ex Molly arrives and it's just like, it's messy. Mitch was me with a bowl of popcorn, wanting to hear and see everything that was going on. He didn't want to miss anything. So I can't wait. I didn't like how Molly was very dismissive. Okay, we don't know what went wrong in their coupling, but still, the way she behaved, the way she was dismissive towards Callum, left a lot to be desired, because it's like, what did he do that upset her so much that she can't even stand the air he breathes? That's more or less the way she came across, that she can't stand this guy. She can't at all. She can't wait for all this to be over and to move on. But then when she heard that he could pick her to recouple, you could see she was sort of questioning whether she wanted to couple up with him, because it's better the devil you know than an angel you don't. So I guess we'll find out tonight who she's chosen to couple up with, and I can't wait. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from previous seasons. Bye guys.